Mom, are you positive that there weren't any other places looking for vice principals?
You promise you'll give it a shot?
I promise. And I looked into it. Legally, I can't live on my own until I'm 18.
Hello, welcome to What the Flip. Christy, Bibbs, Alonzo, just in time for Halloween is Goosebumps. I am too old to have Goosebumps as a cultural reference, but Bibbs is young and spry and full of promise and can tell us about Goosebumps.
Goosebumps is like, I'm too old for Goosebumps, but okay. Bumps gonna goose ya. There's like these kids and they live next... There's a kid who moves in next door to R.L. Stine. Turns out all the Goosebumps monsters are real. He lets them all out. Oh no, monsters! And then movie.
So you're the new neighbor?
Yeah, I'm Zach, by the way.
I'm Hannah.
Hammer, get away from the window now.
I gotta go.
Hi. Hey, we're just moving in.
You see that fence?
Yes.
Stay on your side of it.
He's a big teddy bear.
Don't take it personally. He doesn't really like anyone.
Yeah. Oh, Hannah's in trouble.
Oh, who's Hannah?
She's locked in this house, and her dad's a psychopath.
Does she have a friend? Whoa, The Abominable Snowman of Pasadena? These are all Goosebumps manuscripts. Why are these books locked?
Did you unlock a book?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I'll put it back where it belongs. Look, here it is. Look.
No, don't open it!
Nobody make a sound. The Abominable Snowman just crawled out of a book. That doesn't just happen.
You've just released every monster I've ever created.
What was that?
It's the Invisible Boy.
Ow!
He's such a crack up.
The only way to stop them is to suck them back into the books.
You've read them all, right?
Yeah.
If we know their weaknesses, we can capture them all.
We're the only ones who can do this. Oh my god, how'd you do that?
Sore fillings. I have a ton of cavities. When I was 10, I didn't brush my teeth for a whole year.
All right, everyone, find anything you can to barricade the doors.
We cannot let the monsters inside.
I just wanna break the rules.
What are you doing? Get me out! No. Keep going.
Never stop, it's how we ride. Never stop, it's
Come on, scaredy cat.
This was cute.
I like this movie so much more than I thought I would.
Yeah?
Yeah. Goosebumps. Here's the thing. I refer to Goosebumps, the books, as baby's first Stephen King. And it's true. It's like this little priming thing. It's a little spooky. It's a little scary, but there's really no danger in it. And as a result, by the time it came around, I was kind of moved past it in a horror realm. But I think Goosebumps, the movie, gets it right. I think this movie is full of scares without actual horror. The monsters in the movie are actually trying to kill everyone, which is good. It gives you a sense of danger. Like it's like in Gremlins. Like Stripe was actually chasing after Zach Galligan with a chainsaw, and yet we think of that as like a fun movie for kids. It's actually kind of messed up.
I thought this was kind of like Gremlins meets Jumanji.
It does feel like that era, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Like 80s.
I interviewed Rob Letterman about this, and he said his pitch was, I want it to be like an Amblin movie. And it has that feel, because the characters are better and more amusing and a little bit more characterized than I think we're used to in this sort of family movie. And when the fantasy element comes along, they treat it seriously enough that it's actually really cool. Like the giant praying mantis in this movie, there's a sense of scale to it that's really cool.
Those lawn gnomes are really creepy.
They're funny, but they're also really, really scary.
Yeah, they're disturbing.
But we talked about Amy Ryan in our Bridge of Spies review and how she does not get to do anything. Here, she's great.
She's got more to do here than Spielberg gave her.
The funny, cool
Thanks,
mom.
Spielberg.
Speaking of Amblin, no, she's like the funny, cool mom, and I actually almost like Goosebumps a lot better before the books even open. Like just the banter between her and Dylan Minnette as her son. It's really lovely.
How nice is that we get a kids movie that isn't in like a huge rush to get going? It's not like, oh, and then Alvin and the Chipmunks fall out of a bag and sing. It's like, let's actually like establish some characters, establish some mood, a little bit of mystery, what's going on with this young woman and her creepy dad who seems to keep her under house arrest. It feels like a real film, which shouldn't be a bonus. That should be like the bare minimum we ask for.
Yeah.
But it's not. But even so, it's just a solid flick, and I like how it plays like the trick when you shove too many like characters or villains into one movie is that they're not all going to get any time. And sure enough, by the end of the film, there's 100 monsters besieging a school and
Not enough clown.
not enough creepy clown. But what we do get is this is like a sightseeing tour from one movie to another. We go from the garden gnomes into, werewolf. That werewolf is actually kind of cool. I've never seen a werewolf bark at someone before. I thought that was actually like a neat little touch.
The possessed car.
Yeah, Visible Kid.
Right.
There's actually they don't all have a huge, half hour to themselves, obviously, but each scene is taken seriously enough that I think kids are really going to get into it, and I think adults, like ourselves, are actually going to be able to fully enjoy this as just a good old-fashioned Halloween slumber party movie.
Yeah, there was kind of this wave a couple of years ago of fun, scary but not too scary movies for kids. Paranorman and Halloween, Frankenweenie.
Yeah.
And I think this kind of falls in that category of I remember when I was a little kid, they would always trot out The Ghost and Mr. Chicken every October. And it's that level of little bit scary, but not too much, and kids will dig it, and adults won't tear their hair out.
I've been equating it to the Monster Squad. It's not quite as ribald as the Monster Squad, and certainly no one blows up a werewolf that then heals itself, blood, gore, and all. But it's actually it's got that tone where it seems respectful of the young audience. And I don't think I remember when I was a kid, I could always tell when I was being talked down to. And Goosebumps doesn't seem to be talking down. It seems to actually just
smart.
It's on our wavelength.
Yeah,
and Mom, what's your take on how old for kids?
You know what? Nick is 6. I did not bring Nick with me to this. We had a scheduling conflict, so young Nick Lemire did not join me. But I think that it would be too scary for him. I think some of the stuff is too intense for him, and he has seen a lot of PG-13. He's seen all 6 Star Wars movies. Maybe 8 and up, I would say, would be okay on this. My guess, my hunch. What do I know?
As far up as you want, though, and seriously, this would be a fun date movie. There's not a lot of great horror stuff out this Halloween.
And I certainly never read the books because I think already past college by that point.
Yeah.
But, I had a great time.
We should mention Jack Black really fast. We did not say the name Jack
Oh,
Black.
right, yes.
He's fine. He's good.
No, he is. Yeah.
That is so sad.
He's fine. He is. But he sort of has to be the conduit for all the craziness. And you mentioned Stephen King.
Yeah.
He's got a very funny Stephen King bit.
He does. But here's what I think is really fun is they actually take R.L. Stine and they add a little bit of mythology to him. They make R.L. Stine, because he plays R.L. Stine, the author. And what we learn about the origin and why the monsters are real is actually kind of sad and could actually make a real proper horror movie.
Slappy.
Well, it's he's
Slappy's not happy.
Slappy is not happy, but Slappy and all of these monsters exist because he hated all the children in his neighborhood, and he basically wanted them to be destroyed by monsters. And then he realized, oh right, consequences, crap, and so he's isolating
it's
himself.
the dark half for kids.
Yeah, well, it's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde if Mr. Hyde was 100 monsters and they all used the ventriloquist dummy as a mouthpiece. I'll see that. That sounds cool.
That was in the early drafts movie. So.
Okay, so what are your numbers then, fellas?
I give it an 8.2 as a straight-up genre film slumber party movie. This is rock solid.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a solid 7. I had a blast.
I'm going to say 7 also, which changes our math.
Oh, no.
It's a 7.4.
7.4. It is 74% on the tomato meter. So a good, fun flick for your family. Bye.